All right, welcome back to Talkin' Shirt, the Contract DTG podcast. I'm Mo, and I'm here with the one and only Mark Beletnikoff. Today we're diving into the age-old question, which tee is right for you? And Mark, I gotta say, this is one of those topics that gets people fired up in the shop and in the Facebook groups.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you'd think we were talking about politics, the way people go at it over Gildan versus Bella Canvas. And then you throw in Hanes, Anvil, Next Level, Comfort Colors. Suddenly everyone's got an opinion and a horror story.
Yeah, and it's not just about the name on the tag, right? Each of these brands has its own vibe. Gildan's the king of basics. If you want cheap, you're probably getting a Gildan. Hanes, that's your classic, maybe a little looser fit, and they've got that Michael Jordan thing going for them. Anvil, well, that's Gildan's fancy cousin now, since Gildan bought them out. Next Level and Bella Canvas, those are your fashion-forward premium feel options. And Comfort Colors, man, if you want that vintage, soft wash, college kid look, that's your brand.
Yeah, and Comfort Colors, I swear every time I see a group of college students, half of them are in those faded pastel Comfort Colors tees. It's like a uniform for Greek life. But, Gildan's everywhere for a reason. They're affordable, they're consistent, and they own half the brands on this list. If you're doing a big run for a charity event or a 5K, you're probably looking at Gildan or Hanes just for the price point.
Let me tell you, the first time I ordered a mixed case for my own brand, I was not prepared. I opened up a box of Gildans and a box of Bellas, and I thought, did I just get scammed? The Gildans felt like, I don't know, a shop rag compared to the Bellas. No offense, but the difference was wild. The Bellas were soft, fitted, and the colors just looked richer. The Gildans were sturdy, but man, they were boxy. I had to double check the invoice to make sure I didn't mess up the order.
That's the thing, though. Gildan's got that classic boxy fit, and it's what a lot of people expect, especially for bulk orders. But if you're trying to build a brand that's a little more fashion forward, you're probably not reaching for a Gildan first unless you're using their soft style model. But most are using Bella Canvas, Next Level, even Comfort Colors now. They're all about that soft ring-spun cotton, side seams, and a more modern fit. But you're paying for it too.
Exactly. And, sometimes the customer doesn't even know what they want until they feel it. They just know they want a nice shirt. But what does that mean? For some, it's the cheapest thing possible. For others, it's got to feel like pajamas. And then you've got Comfort Colors, which is like, I want it to look like I've owned it for 10 years, but I just bought it yesterday.
Yeah, and that's before we even get into how these shirts actually print. But, reputation matters. Gildan's the budget king, Bella Canvas is the premium darling, and Next Level's kind of the middle child. Good quality, not quite as pricey as Bella, but definitely a step up from Gildan. Hanes and jerseys, they're sort of floating in the middle, and Comfort Colors is its own animal. It's a lot to sort through, especially if you're new to the game.
All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. How do these brands actually handle ink? Because, let's be honest, it doesn't matter how soft a shirt is if your print looks like garbage after one wash.
Yeah, and this is where things get interesting. So Gildan, especially the 100% cotton lines like the 5000 or 2000, those are workhorses for screen printing in DTG. The surface is a little rougher, but it holds ink well and you get good color pop. But, you start messing with their blends like the dry blend or heavy blend, and you can run into issues with DTG. That's where DTF can assist. The polyester content just doesn't play nice with water-based inks.
I've seen that too. You get that faded, washed out look, and not in a good way. But with Bella Canvas, especially the 3001, you get that smooth, ring spun cotton. It's like printing on butter. The colors are vibrant, the details are sharp, and it just feels premium. But, you're paying a premium too.
Yeah, and Next Level's right there with Bella. Their 6210 is a favorite in my shop for DTG and screen printing. The surface is smooth and the fit is modern. But, sometimes you get a batch where the color's just a hair off from the last order. Consistency can be a challenge, especially if you're doing repeat jobs for a brand that's picky about their Pantone colors.
And then there's comfort colors. I gotta say, I love the look, but those pigment dyed shirts can be a nightmare for printing. Sometimes the dye just doesn't take the ink the way you want, or you get weird color shifts. Have you had that happen?
Oh, all the time. Comfort colors is a gamble. Sometimes you get a print that looks amazing, and sometimes the ink just sinks in and disappears. The pigment dye process gives you that vintage, washed-out look, but it can mess with your print colors. And don't even get me started on embroidery. Those shirts are soft, but the weave can be loose, so you got to stabilize the heck out of them or your stitches go wonky.
So, what makes a true printer's tee in your book? Is it just about the surface, or is it about consistency too?
Honestly, it's both. I want a shirt that's got a smooth, tight knit for crisp prints. But I also want to know that if I order 500 more next month, they're going to look and feel the same. That's where Gildan shines. They're not the softest, but they're mostly consistent. Bella and Next Level, you get that premium feel, but sometimes the dye lots or fit can shift a little. It's a trade-off. And you know, for embroidery, I'll take a heavier cotton any day. The lighter, stretchier shirts can be a pain to hoop and have to use special backing that keeps it flat and tight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people overlook that. They just want the softest shirt, but if you're running a business, you need to know what you're getting every time. Otherwise, you're spending more time fixing mistakes than making money. And as we talked about in our quality control episode, that's where you lose your margin.
Exactly. And, you know, sometimes you got to educate your customers. They want the cheapest shirt, but then they complain when the print doesn't look like the mock-up. Or they want a Comfort Colors tee, but they don't realize the print's going to look a little muted. It's all about setting expectations and picking the right blank for the job.
So let's talk about picking the right tee for your brand or your client. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but there are some clear winners for different situations. Mark, you've done everything from outfitting race teams to school fundraisers. How do you decide?
Yeah, so for the local race team, we went with custom Next Level tees. Those guys wanted something that looked sharp, fit well under their gear, and held up to sweat and washing. The 6210 was perfect, soft, fitted, and the prints looked killer. But when we did a big order for a school, it was Hanes all the way. The price was right, the fit was forgiving, and nobody cared if it was fashion forward. They just wanted a shirt that would survive the lost and found bin.
That's the thing. Demographics matter. If you're selling to youth or doing bulk for a camp, Gildan or Hanes is your friend. If you're targeting fashion-forward buyers, you're looking at Bella Canvas or Next Level. And for corporate swag, sometimes you need that middle ground Hammer or even a premium Gildan soft style. Comfort Colors is great for college merch or anyone who wants that lived-in look.
And don't forget about price points. If you're upgrading from entry-level Gildan to premium Bella Canvas, you're paying more, but you're getting a softer shirt, better fit, and usually a more retail-ready look. But you might sacrifice a little on durability, especially if your customers are rough on their clothes. There's a sweet spot, though. Next Level and Gildan Soft Style give you a lot of bang for your buck. Not as cheap as a Gildan 5000, not as pricey as Bella, but solid quality and good printability.
Yeah, and sometimes it's about what you're willing to sacrifice. If you want the softest, trendiest shirt, you're going to pay for it, and you might have to deal with a little more shrinkage or color inconsistency. If you want bulletproof durability and the lowest price, you're probably giving up that premium feel. It's all about knowing your audience and your margins.
If you're not sure, reach out to us or check out contract-dtg.com. We help people figure this stuff out every day. There's no shame in asking for samples or doing a test run before you commit to a big order. It's better than getting stuck with 200 shirts nobody wants to wear. Honestly, there are so many brands, from cheap to expensive, from boxy fit to athletic. At the end of the day, what do you want, or what does the customer want financially or fit-wise?
Couldn't have said it better. All right, that's a wrap for today's episode. If you're still not sure which tee is right for your next project, hit us up at contract-dtg.com. We'll help you sort through the options and find what works for your brand. Mark, always a pleasure talking shop with you.
Same to you, Mo. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please hit that like and subscribe button. We'll catch you next time on Talkin' Shirt. Take care.
See ya, Mark. See ya, everyone.